How's it going, everyone? Marriland here, and it's time for more Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. Alright, so this is the Wish Cave, except I'm going to speed it up at 8 times speed so we can kind of get through it in a reasonable amount of time. So this actually took me about 4 hours to get through on my first attempt. I'm using a Mew, I'm using my Swampert, and my Charizard. I did evolve them. Again, if you have not seen the 4-hour video, I'd recommend at least checking out the beginning bit of it, because that kind of shows the stuff that happens prior to this. But I did decide, yes, I will be evolving them. That's really irrelevant to the dungeon itself. So let me try to explain what's going on here. So Mew is really useful while going through these dungeons. So Mew has the attack transform. Ditto has this as well, but Mew can also learn all TMs and stuff, so I'd say it's better if you have that. So if you use transform at the beginning of a dungeon, or pretty much whenever, you can transform into the Pokemon for that floor, like I did just there. And then you also get all of its attacks at full power points. So it's really good because it helps you save on power points. You're only using 1 PP for transform, and then you get like all the PP for all the moves otherwise. So yeah, very, very handy. That was a good trick that was recommended. Now, Wish Cave itself, it has 99 floors, and it also has something that makes it much easier than the other 99 floor level reset dungeons, because of course in this your level does get reset to level 5 when you go in there, just temporarily, not permanently. So that's kind of a pain. However, you can bring along items, which is very helpful. Definitely very helpful. You're going to want to bring along the X-ray specs for sure, so you can see all the items, and you're going to want to make sure you bring along some Reviver Seeds and I don't know, anything you think you might need, like PP restoring items, big Reviver Seeds, like your standard ones, some perfect apples would be good, stuff like that. Yeah. So, a good idea is to go through the first, I don't know, 15, 20, maybe even 25 floors. You want to clear these things out. You don't want to just rush for the stairs. You want to fight everything you can, because at this point, enemies are pretty easy to take out. Now, you don't have to take along other Pokemon with you. They can sometimes be a liability, but you could get some with good rare qualities. In fact, I'll actually end up keeping quite a few of the Pokemon that I picked up along the way, because they had some pretty good rare qualities that make them worthwhile, and you know, it's better than having other attacks. It is still good to have other attacks on the Pokemon that you recruit, but it's also not really, it's not necessary. Like, I think rare qualities is your #1 priority because they affect the whole team, and you can get some really good beneficial effects. Things like Steamroll, things like PP Pouch, I know is one. XP Boost isn't actually that bad if you happen to get it. Like, I wouldn't make it a priority, but it's pretty decent. Kecleon shops are also very important, and you can bring in money with you as well, so definitely check those out. They're probably less useful because you can bring in money, but still not bad. So Pure Seeds. These are great to stockpile. There's 2 items that make your life so much easier in the later floors, and they are Pure Seeds, which teleport you directly to the stairs, and then there's Guiding Wands, which you can use those, and it will light up the room that has the stairs, which is pretty good. Now, I got this Blinker Seed, which it's kind of interesting. I was a little unsure about it. But yeah, so monster houses, they're very dangerous, but they also can be very useful because when you clear them out, if you have like a room clearing move, like Heat Wave, Earth Power, Blizzard, Discharge, etc., those are good ones. If you have one of those, you can go there and hopefully on the earlier floors, you can just use that move to KO everything in there. Now, Ice Beam was a really good pickup here. Honestly, in thinking about it, like in hindsight, you could just bring in a TM for Blizzard or theoretically like Earthquake or Surf if you only want to go in with one Pokemon, which is a viable strategy too. Sometimes having 3 Pokemon is more of a liability. You can go in solo if you want, but yeah, you could bring in like a TM that you want to teach. Now, you don't get that back. I mean, it is, you know, consumed, but for instance, you can clear Fantasy straight and get unlimited Blizzard TMs because you get one every time you clear it, and it's a great TM to use. So that can make your journey through here much better. So just keep that in mind. Getting wands, that's obviously very helpful. Again, I'm kind of in like, let's fight everything mode. Bringing along a TM that changes the weather is also a really good idea because that's, it's really good to do that because oftentimes you'll find that there's weather that's really nasty. So I got Shadow Claw. I don't remember if I actually ended up using it. It is going by very fast. I do apologize, but like I said, it took about 4 hours. I do have a separate 4-hour video if you want to watch the whole thing, like without any cuts, anything like that. I mean, I just sat down and I kept talking. My goal was to, oh, let me talk about this really fast. So the Empowerment Seed, this is super useful if you're using this Mew strategy and a Pokemon that's capable of Mega Evolution. Like, it worked out so well in this case. Yes, I do have 2 Mega Charizard Y. And when you use Transform on a Mega Pokemon, you actually do become that Mega Pokemon. So it's very nice if you happen to have a good Mega and you find an Empowerment Seed, or you bring one. Like, realistically, this is the Wish Cave. You can bring items with you. So I could have brought along an Empowerment Seed and just done that from the beginning. I guess I probably should have done that, but oh well, it's fine. Again, you know, bring items you think are necessary to get to the bottom, and then you'll be fine. Now, one nice point about if you use Transform on an Awakened Pokemon or a Mega Evolution, normally if you get affected by a status condition on your Awakened Pokemon, like my Awakened Charizard, my Mega Charizard here, well, what would end up happening is it would cancel out that Mega Evolution. But if you're leading with Mew or Ditto with Transform, and oh yeah, I had a few missions in here, like you know, they're not really that important, but I figured I might as well stockpile them, so I have something to do while going through here. Again, this is my first attempt through Wish Cave. It is the easiest of the 3. I wasn't sure if I'd make it through or not. I did, but yeah, it was definitely a little tense, but I figured I might as well accept rescue missions here because they do give good rewards if you can manage to clear them. So that was why that Totodile was there. But yeah, anyway, it's really nice because it doesn't cancel out the Mega Evolution if your transformed Awakened Pokemon, your transformed Mega, ends up getting affected by a status condition. So again, I just had Mew do most of the work. Basically had 2 Heat Wave users all the time, which is really good. I had Drought always override the weather for the first few turns, which was very handy. It would go back after a while too, so like Drought is pretty handy. Honestly, I'd say, and I do say this in the 4-hour video, like, it wasn't a smart idea to bring Devin, the Swampert. Like, really, I found I got in the way probably more than I needed, but oh well, it's fine. Again, I wanted to do this. This is the easiest of the 3. I didn't really know what to bring in, so I just did that. It worked out okay. Having Squad Up was also kind of handy. Again, you know, you could bring something with Lonely Courage. That's also a very good idea if you just want to bring one Pokemon and just kind of go through. It's not necessarily a bad strategy. It does let you power up a lot in the beginning because you're just one-shotting everything. You don't have anything else around. Now, this got a little dicey. Unfortunately, that thing, it sucker punched me, but, you know, I had Reviver Seeds. I hadn't really been using too many. I know at some point, I end up getting something with Leave Half, which makes those Reviver Seeds even better. Now, another good strategy, I did read about this. There are a few guides on the subreddit for Mystery Dungeon, and one that I read, it was kind of more of a compilation of good strategies for Wish Cave. It was by Keen Hyde, I believe it is, and basically the idea is to get through Wish Cave, you can bring a ghost Pokemon. You know how I've kind of brought some of those along for the Buried Relic and for the Unknown Relic to go into the walls, which honestly I found that Forge of Path is better. Oh yeah, see there's that poison, and that would have knocked out Zippy's Mega Evolution, which would have been a pain. But yeah, you can actually use that combined with the X-ray specs, and you can just move through the walls. And then if you have small stomach, usually the random seeds and berries you find, that'll keep your stomach full. And then you just use like 2 perfect apples at the beginning, which is nice. Now, if you're using Mew, you don't really need to transform if you spawn right by the stairs. Kind of unnecessary, really. That's why I didn't for that one. And it was kind of a mixed bag. Like, at this point, it's kind of like, all right, if I can fight things, great, but, you know, I'm starting to realize I probably should just get going, you know? There is a point where you're gonna start looking for the stairs. Grinding gets a little bit more dangerous. You're not one-hit KOing things, or even 2-hit KOing things, and things start hitting you a little bit harder, so, you know, once you kind of get to that point, you gotta be a little careful. So I got a Trapinch here. I didn't see what I did. I think I left it behind. Again, it's kind of weird. I know I leave behind a lot of stronger Pokemon and keep my weaker Pokemon, but again, the reason for this is the rare qualities. They're so important. Absolutely important to have, I find. Like, they're way worth it. Oh yeah, I don't know, I didn't need the All Protect Orb. I just decided, we'll just use it. But yeah, anyway, it's a pretty good strategy, the one I'd seen on the subreddit, where basically using the X-ray specs and using most ghost Pokemon, their ability to like go through walls, you just kind of keep an eye on the radar, and you just basically go through the entire floor and just avoid anything. You can just walk through walls, and they shouldn't be able to get you. Now, this doesn't work for the other dungeons because you can't bring in the X-ray specs. If you happen to find them, well, great, then you could do that. But yeah, it's not a given, whereas it is in this. So you could do that. Their recommendation was to bring along a helper orb and use that, maybe with like an all power-up orb or something, during the boss fight at the end of this. Because otherwise, you know, if you're just going through, there is a boss you have to fight at the end. And it's actually not a pushover. Like, if you weren't leveling up and getting some good moves and items and stuff, you might actually have a hard time, and that would be a pain. So I get a Joy Seed there, which just raises your level by 1. Kind of handy while going through here. Not really that useful to bring out of here, because honestly, leveling up outside of this place, not really a big deal. Not really a big deal at all. Yeah, so we're up to the 35th floor. And, you know, it's definitely, the pace is picking up a lot more compared to the earlier floors, you know, like, that is important. I would recommend try to stockpile any pure seeds just in case, just to make sure that, you know, you'll have them for later. Because using those at the very end is just a great way to end things, because it's just a free floor. And then the guiding wands, if you had some before the dungeon, like, bring them along. This is a great place to use them. Now, this is a pain. Like, this Togepi was just like, and I think I accidentally transformed into Togepi too, so that happens. Like, unfortunately, there's not really a good way to untransform. You can faint, or you can just go to the next floor. So, like, I've had, I think, 3 or 4 times I accidentally transformed into the wrong Pokemon, which is really unfortunate, but it happens. I mean, you know, it does. It's not the end of the world, though, thankfully. But yeah, definitely if you are using Transform, pay very careful attention. So yeah, unfortunately, like, this is going by very fast. I do apologize if it's a little hard to follow. Again, you know, I did record 4 hours worth. I decided I'll give 2 options here. It's either, you know, this kind of brief overview where I talk about some general strategies getting through, or you can watch the whole thing, and you don't have to watch it all at once. Now, I'm really considering this Gligar, but I think I ended up deciding against it. It was very tough, though, because I think it had a decent rare quality, and I feel like, you know, it would have been okay. Like, Gligar is pretty decent because it is immune to, oh, that Manectric. I'm tempted, but it didn't really have enough to convince me, so I just decided, we don't need it. Alright, so yeah, let's see, silver spikes, these are also good, and I should probably talk about these. So, they pierce enemies. You know how Hydro Pump and Boomerang, they do damage like 10 tiles in a line? Well, the silver spikes, they do this as well, so they're quite handy actually. And on top of that, Pokemon, they can't pick them up. Like, what you'll find in these dungeons, you'll find quite often, oh yeah, it's so super annoying, Nincada, as you knock them out, a few turns later, they will respawn as Shedinja, so you have to, like, you don't want to run off. I think that's what ended up happening with that Togepi a few floors ago. It was like, oh man, I was on my way out, and then just leave something behind, and just gets kind of messy, so yeah. But it's okay. Shedinja would be a pretty good Pokemon to bring through, I think. Because I think it actually does gain HP. Not a lot, but I think it does get some. Maybe not. I don't remember. I haven't recruited Shedinja as of the time of recording this. But that's okay. I know it's good in the other dungeons. Because you can beef it up with some stat boosters. Yeah, there's that thing. So if ever you see it, you know, if ever you see either a Ninjask or... Actually, I don't think Ninjask. I think it's just Nincada that does that. You know, don't drop your guard, because that thing might end up getting you. Sneak up on you, you know? So yeah, room clearing moves, very helpful. I mean, that's a given. They're just super overpowered in Mystery Dungeon. Distance moves are as well. Wish Cave, specifically, you know, you can bring in TMs, so you can teach Pokemon different TM moves. These Illumise are really annoying, too, because they're very bulky, they have a lot of health, and they use Moonlight and stuff, so yeah. It's kind of a pain. Let's see. So we're at about the halfway mark now. Yeah, actually, now we are, floor 50. So that's kind of nice. I found a tiny Reviver Seed there. Not really that much to get excited about, because honestly, I've been doing fine as far as my items go. I've been trying to manage my inventory. Later on, I run into an issue where I get a little low on max elixirs and max ethers and stuff, so, you know, I guess in hindsight, I probably should have brought even more. Because again, every 5 floors, you're going to have to use one on Mew if you use that strategy. And if you don't, you'll probably need even more than that, because you have, you know, only a limited amount of power points for your moves. So that's, again, that's kind of why I went with the transform strategy. Thought that'd be handy. So yeah, level 20 to 22. About halfway through, that's pretty good. Got a few items here. Some apples. Yeah, just try to eat anything that you run across. Try to use anything that helps. See if there's anything good in the Kecleon shops. I think I bought Sunny Day. Just in case. I don't think I ended up using it. I did put Brutal Swing on over Smokescreen. Not really sure why. Like, it's okay. I guess just doing a little bit of extra damage is good. Oh, I think this is Sunny Day right over here. No, it's Poison Jab. Didn't really need it. Okay, well, yeah, so it is definitely a lot of fun, and I would say of the level reset 99 floor dungeons, start with this one. It's the easiest of the 3 because you can bring in items. It does still provide a pretty good challenge though, and like I said, this took me 4 hours. And, you know, not to say it would take you 4 hours, like, it's certainly doable to clear it much faster than that, but again, I was talking, and I wanted to clear out a lot of stuff. I grabbed a lot of items. What else? Oh, you can, of course, turn up your movement speed, too. Now, this is kind of a scary area. Like, these Macargo, they do have a lot of really nasty moves, so you have to watch out for them. I don't remember when they start spawning. I want to say, like, well, around here, let's say. And I find most things last around 10 floors. Like 5 to 10 floors. Like every 5 to 10, kind of staggered, things change. The Torkoal were mildly annoying, but they weren't actually like as bad. But Macargo in particular, that thing, and then I think it's Golem later on. That's a big pain. I feel like that thing had a lot of health. and it was just really scary. So, you know, there are a lot of definite threats here. Some things, they don't actually have that much HP, so they're easier to deal with, but there were a lot of things that just, I felt like they had a lot of HP and stuff. So, I always recommend having some kind of monster house solution, like slumber orbs or something like that. Like, even if you have a room clearing move, especially as you get further into the dungeon, it gets very dangerous running into a monster house. I think it's still a good idea, or at least it can be, because you can get some really good rewards and also a lot of experience, which is helpful. That gives you more levels, it gives you more stats, and perhaps most importantly, it gives you more moves, and that can make, you know, the difference. It really can, so. But you have to play it by ear. Like, even with a room clearing move, if you happen to get unlucky and you miss, like, things can get bad pretty quickly. So using like a slumber orb or a foe hold orb or any sort of other thing. You could use an all protect orb too if you have a lot of Pokemon with you. That would work. Try to just send in only one Pokemon. Don't send in like your whole squad. That's pretty bad. But yeah, these are just general tips. I mean, I would always do this. In my case, I use Zippy because I found that Zippy actually hits a lot harder despite... Oh yeah, see, I still have like level 9s and level 10s despite having much better options here, but they just had much better rare qualities. I don't remember what Piloswine had, but I remember it was an improvement, and, you know, as I got further on, I figured I might as well replace that Togepi. I know that a lot of the things that are following me, they are liabilities at this point. But at the same time, the rare qualities make them worthwhile. So yeah, now we have a few different like dragons and metal Pokemon and stuff like that. There's Zangoose. There's a lot of Zangoose for the next, I think, 10 floors. And they're really funny. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of Zangoose. So see, I'm using that Slumber Orb I picked up earlier. Don't think I took Zangoose with, but I was considering it. Like, it's not bad. Yeah, so I think I found a Foe Hold Orb, so I just used that just to petrify everything around. Alright, and, you know, since everything's petrified, like, if you use a Foe Hold Orb, definitely use that opportunity to knock out those Pokemon. I got a little bit in trouble there, because I think Zangoose used, like, Sucker Punch or Fake Out or something like that. Kind of caught me off guard, but, you know, it happens. Thankfully, in this case, I realized I had plenty of... Oh, yeah, the thing woke up, like, right away and used Crunch on me. That was a jerk move. But like I was just about to say, you know, I realized I had a pretty good amount of Reviver Seeds. That wasn't the main thing I was worried about. I feel like I also picked up a few as I went along, too, so... in this case, I could be a little riskier. Had a little bit of a stone-throwing match there with the Zangoose. Didn't really see anything I wanted in the Kecleon shop, but definitely worthwhile checking. So yeah, at this point, like, you know... Oh, one thing about the Decoy Seed, which I didn't realize, but Decoy Seeds are also really helpful. I want to test it out later, but I was reading that apparently Decoy Seeds are... They're targets for things like sticky traps and apple traps, things that I always worry about. So if you have one in your inventory, it will target that first, which is great, because otherwise, you know, if you're going through a big dungeon like Buried Relic, you know, this may have happened to me. I mean, thankfully, I brought 2, but yeah, as I was going through it, I ran into an apple trap, and it turned my escape orb. Oh man, this is really scary. That thing used Shell Smash, and then it kind of smashed me pretty good. Oh yeah, Rhydon. This thing is kind of a pain too. Golem was more of a pain, but yeah, these floors get really, really scary. But yeah, actually, if I would have known that earlier on, Decoy Seeds, I would have brought probably 1 or 2 just in case. And I got so lucky there. I took out that Macargo because I fell asleep. And then I think I found a health orb there, so I figured, you know what? I think I already had 1 or 2. I might as well just use it. That Macargo was a jerk, too. It used, I think, Amnesia, and it just took forever to take down. Yeah, it's definitely getting a little dicey here. Yet I still feel so tempted to go to those monster houses. And again, I just kind of try to keep everyone there. and just go in. I don't think I kind of risked it there. I didn't use any kind of mitigation, anything to slow him down. Just kind of went for it in the sun. Didn't have anything, to be honest, but it's fine. You know, that happens. I got a faux hold orb there. I think I was out of those for a while. So, yeah, I'm realizing at this point, you know, we're at floor 73. This is definitely when they're getting pretty tough at this point. So, I have been stockpiling guiding wands, and I think this is when I start using them because, you know, if I had 4 pure seeds, I think I picked up at this point. Oh, maybe it's these grabblers that are a pain. And this one too, there's a pure seed. Unfortunately, it was sticky, but I did have a cleanse orb, so I figured, well, I'll just kind of take it along anyway. I have a cleanse orb in the inventory, I think. This was a really frustrating situation there, but I ended up getting through it. And this silly Piloswine just fell asleep. It was a pain. Yeah, so on the later floors, you know, use your guiding wands. Try to save them towards the end, like add up your pure seeds and add up your guiding wands. Take that number and subtract that from like 99 or 98 because that's around what you'd need. And you can use that to basically get you to the end, which is good. Sometimes you'll get lucky and you'll just like appear on the, oh yeah, these golems, they're so annoying. They just have like a ton of health and they hit really hard and they can have sturdy too. So like, yeah, this will not be the last time a golem gets me. So definitely watch out for those. Camera up too. Looks like they start appearing on floor 80. Things get kind of rough here. So again, this is why I recommend those guiding wands. It's a great time to use them. Save them for later, as tempting as it is, save them for later. And then finish up with pure seeds. If you have pure seeds, you could bring them along with you, like if you have them in Kangaskhan storage. I wouldn't bring too many though, just because, you know, you're using all that inventory space for something you're not even going to use until the end. So that's kind of a pain, really, but you know, it's still an option. I also still recommend checking out Kecleon shops whenever you get a chance. If you brought in money, you know, you should have plenty. I mean, honestly, I gained like 7,000 coins just in this amount of time. So, you know, you can make money in here and you can use it to buy things. So that's why I still always recommend checking it. Oh, these Hitmontop get kind of annoying too. I feel like they take 3 hits or so. They have about 130 to 150 health, which is quite a lot. Definitely a lot to take down. Wheezing kind of becomes a threat. Solrock, reasonably so. Hopefully you have like Steamroll or something that can handle them. Guiding Wand. I think at this point I'm just like, yeah, there's a monster house down there. It seems like too much trouble. And I had a health orb there because I got poisoned. And I ran kind of low on poison. Now, a mud trap, that lowered, like, I don't know, my stats or something. I hadn't run into one of those. Just kind of crazy. Yeah, so we're almost at the end. I'm at floor 90, but these next 10 floors will go very fast because I'm using the guiding wand, just trying to get away from any, like, ghosts, any threats. Using the X-ray specs to see where things are so I can position myself properly. That's a good idea. What else? Just go for the stairs, you know, don't worry too much about anything else. At this point, the stairs need to be your goal. If you don't have guiding wands, but do have the X-ray specs, you know, you can use the quote-unquote trick that I would usually do, where I just kind of like look and see where there are items, because that indicates there's a room there, and that's a good spot to go. So yeah, Scizor is waiting for you down here as well, and that thing can catch you off guard. So yeah, watch out for it. Now, on a few floors, I don't use a guiding wand, but at this point, I'm just gonna finish it up with some pure seeds, just to make it nice and quick, and then go on to fight against Jirachi. Also, I get this Meowth, which is kind of nice. But yeah, 98 floors, pure seed, let's go. Floor 99! I've cleared it! Oh, so yeah, you don't actually have to, like, do anything on floor 99. It's not like a floor. But at the very end, after 4 hours, just barely over 4 hours, well, of recording. I guess the dungeon itself took a little less time. But here I am. I'm still sleepy. Who is it? Who is that over there? I'm Jirachi. Who are you? I'm still sleepy. Okay, well, here we go. After all of this, we still have to fight against Jirachi, which I guess I could have transformed into in thinking about it. Now, thankfully, I don't think Jirachi is, like, super duper powerful or anything, but, you know, it's still something to watch out for. I mean, you know, fire types, ground types, those are very good. You probably had something with that anyway. Wow, this thing actually has a lot of health, given the fact that, you know, we needed to go through here at level 5. Maybe I underestimated it. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's doing that much damage, but yeah, okay. Wow, this thing is still alive. Okay. Lucky Chant. Oh, that's mean. That's mean. Why would you do that? Well, I guess that being said, make sure you have some items in your inventory like orbs or wands or things like that that can make the fight easier, because it would stink to go 99 floors and lose to that. But yeah, I mean, again, I had fire types, so pretty good. And I wouldn't expect this to be like outrageously tough. The tough part's getting there. But it was actually tougher than I thought it would be. I'm still sleepy. Oh, I hear singing. A song of purity. Eyes wide open. I don't know why, but I'm wide awake. I'm Jirachi. When I awaken, I grant a wish. I have to. Ahem. Then, I ask you this. What is your wish? So, yeah, at this point, you can wish for all sorts of things, and you actually do get a wish. So lots of money gives you lots of money. I don't really need that. Lots of items gives you some items. I don't know what. A camp gives you a camp that you don't have, but it's kind of weird to go through a dungeon and get a camp you don't have. Like, if you don't have a camp at this point, that's a problem. More strength, I think I remember reading, gives you stat boosting items, which, again, you don't really need. And then I think something good gives you a Pokemon that you don't have. Yeah. Something good? That's not very easy, but I'll do my best. It's done. Now just make it home safely and good things will happen for you. Probably. Definitely. One more thing. You seem like a lot of fun, so I'm joining your team. Yay, Jirachi joined your team. And it has friendly, that's pretty appropriate. Using that power made me sleepy. Good night. I'll be at camp if anyone needs me. Jirachi went on ahead back to camp. Yeah, so I think in the original, you could actually grind the Wish Cave and recruit really rare Pokemon that were hard to get, like after you've gotten everything. Because I think something good gives you something you didn't already have. I'm gonna let this Aron join, because I don't remember if I have Lyron or Aggron. I can always evolve it later. I know I have Manectric though, so this thing can just, it can peace out. 8,700 Poke, that's crazy. I don't have Piloswine, so that's nice. 8,000, oh my gosh. Zangoose, yeah, give me some money. 4,600. And Meowth. Yeah, let's definitely take that Meowth. So yeah, I think in the old game, you could loop back. Like, you could go through Wish Cave over and over and get wishes. Like, you didn't have to recruit Jirachi. But in this one, I think you do. I think the only way... I don't know if you don't have the camp for it, what happens. Like, I personally don't know. I don't really want to find out. But I guess that's a possibility. Yeah, this was some okay rewards. Wasn't that deep in there, but I did get a Totodile out of the deal, so that's nice. Oh, that's squad up. That's cool. Whew. Man, that was exhausting. The next morning. Look, I'm all grown up now. Listen, Devin, I've got great news. Steelix wants to join our team. Steelix is hanging around outside. They say they were blown here by a sudden gust of wind. They don't seem to know why they would end up here. But since they're here, they decided that it must be for a good reason. And so they want to join us. What do you think? Do you want to let Steelix join our team? Yeah, I guess so. Might as well. I guess I don't have Steelix. Alright, welcome to the team, Steelix. The latest recruit to Team Marriland. Steelix joined your team. Moving up, okay. Yeah, so you get a Pokemon you don't have out of the deal. I guess that's kind of neat. It used to be a good way to get, like, all sorts of things. But I feel like saving that for last is just kind of weird. Like, if you were to grind that. Like, even if it worked the old way, like, I don't know. So where does that thing end up? Mount Moonview. See, that's the thing that makes me wonder. Like, what happens if you had 32 spots filled here? Like, what would happen? Would it even show up? Would it want to join? I really don't know. But what I do know is I cleared Wish Cave, the 99 floor dungeon that resets my level back down to level 5. And it was fun. And I also know that both me and Zippy have evolved, which is cool. So there's only 2 more big dungeons in the game, and I'm gonna somehow try to tackle them. It probably won't be this dynamic duo, but I do feel like Zippy and Mew did really well, so I might find something for like a third Pokemon to bring along. It's really hard to say, but I won't be able to bring in any items with me. Oh man. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you on the next episode. See you next time, everyone!